and thank you for joining us for this year's National Philanthropy Day. We're going to get started at 3:30 p.m. sharp, so for now, grab a drink and a snack. Message your friends and family to make sure they're tuning in along with you, and don't forget to use the comment section to interact with each other and celebrate our honorees. Sit back and relax. Our presentation for this year's National Philanthropy Day will begin shortly. and thank you for joining us for this year's National Philanthropy Day. We're going to get started at 3:30 p.m. sharp, so for now, grab a drink and a snack. Message your friends and family to make sure they're tuning in along with you, and don't forget to use the comment section to interact with each other and celebrate our honorees. Sit back and relax. Our presentation for this year's National Philanthropy Day will begin shortly.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a very special episode of I Love Philanthropy. As we gather to celebrate this year's National Philanthropy Day, I'll be your super suave leading man for the afternoon, John Peter Wilhite. Not only am I a huge fan of I Love Lucy, which has inspired today's event, I am also so excited to be your host today for the 32nd Annual National Philanthropy Day Virtual Edition. Thank you for being here today and for supporting the Association of Fundraising Professionals, or as we like to call it, AFP. National Philanthropy Day is like a holiday in the nonprofit sector. It's a huge deal. National Philanthropy Day is celebrated by chapters of the Association of Fundraising Professionals around the country and around the globe. And its purpose is to recognize and celebrate the contributions of philanthropy and how it enriches our lives, our community, and our world. Your support of AFP and National Philanthropy Day means that development professionals have the resources and the ethical and professional support to advance the missions of the organizations that they care so much about. Nonprofits rely on our community, and by being here today, you're ensuring that the missions you care so much about can continue to thrive through philanthropic support. But really, we're here today to celebrate each and every one of you, the donors, the volunteers, foundations, corporations, and fundraising professionals that make philanthropy in our community so impactful. Today, we are honored to highlight just a few of the outstanding members of our community that make Tucson the kind and caring city we all know and love it to be. Get ready to be wowed. The people you are about to meet demonstrate what philanthropy truly means to our community. Before we get started celebrating our honorees, I'd like to introduce the 2020 National Philanthropy Day co-chairs. They are a regular Fred and Ethel, seemingly always together and bickering, but we love them anyways. Travis Craddock and Gemma Thomas.
Oh my gosh, Gemma, hi, how are you?
There's my Ethel, hi.
That's me. Can you believe they asked us back for another season of I Love Philanthropy?
Actually, no, I really can't believe that.
Oh, Fred, well look at all these people that have tuned in. Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us virtually for this year's National Philanthropy Day. When Grouchy Fred over here and I decided to co-chair this event once again, we were not expecting to have to do so virtually. However, we knew that now more than ever, we needed to sing the praises of those who have stepped up in times of insurmountable challenge. Now more than ever, philanthropy is that much more important in our world. We were excited to turn this fabulous event virtual, and we are grateful to everyone that put their trust in us to do so.
Sure, Ethel. And we are so grateful to our Ricky Ricardo and our dear friend John Peter for agreeing to MC this unusual event. We knew that it would be extra important to have an eloquent, engaging, and masterful speaker this year, and who better than John Peter Wilhite? Plus, we did want those absolutely fabulous outfit changes.
You got that right, Fred. At this time, I'd like to extend our sincerest gratitude to this year's National Philanthropy Day sponsors who have brought this special rendition of National Philanthropy Day to you in the comfort of your own homes. Our Golden Title sponsor, Community Foundation for Southern Arizona. Our Golden Title media sponsor, Tucson Lifestyle Magazine. Our Silver and Bronze sponsors, Alexander Carrillo Consulting, Women's Foundation of Southern Arizona, Pima Council on Aging, White Space Design, Spectrum Printing, and our supporting sponsors, Raise the Bar Consulting, Commotion Studios, C. Charro Flores Concepts, and Social Venture Partners. Without the generous support of these organizations, we wouldn't be coming to you live, well, kind of, to celebrate philanthropy in our community today.
Ethel and I were thrilled to co-chair this event once again, but we are only as strong as the team who came together to make today possible. And I'd like to take a minute to recognize the 2020 National Philanthropy Day Planning Committee. Allie Bear, Lana Baldwin, Courtney Sloniker, Mindy Griffith, Jobana Rodriguez, Amber Mazzy, Lisa Robinson, and Fred Rodriguez. We really, truly couldn't have done it without our committee. Thank you very, very much to our quarantine team. It's also so important to thank the AFP Southern Arizona Chapter Board of Directors for their leadership, especially our president, Julie, and for their commitment to our professional community and to Tucson as a whole.
We'd like to thank all of those who put in time and energy to nominate and celebrate all of today's awardees, and of course, the community members who came together to judge each nomination. A huge thank you to our volunteer judges, Aaron Russ, Wendy Erica Worden, Miguel Cruz, Hannah Levine, Trace Peterson, David Landon, Greg Taylor, and Isabel Newshots.
Lastly, we have to extend an extra special thank you to our dear friend Nina for the beautiful awards our honorees will be receiving today. Nina Borgia Aberle and her company, Donor Recognition Art, are responsible for the remarkable handcrafted awards that our honorees are receiving. Nina led a virtual workshop at Tunadito, an organization that works to support children, teens, young adults, and families who've been impacted by the diagnosis of a serious medical condition or the death of a loved one. Children and teens at Tunadito created hearts filled with love and compassion for those being honored today. Every heart created was unique and represents the extraordinary and individual nature of the gifts that each of our honorees brings to our community. Thank you to Nina and to our youth artists for sharing their time and talent with us in this very special way.
You know what, Fred? I haven't seen Lucy yet. She should have been here.
Where is Lucy? She's always up to trouble, that Lucy.
Well, let's see if we can give her a call. Please join us in welcoming the AFP Southern Arizona Chapter's president, Julie Ragland, to share a few words. Lucy, are you there?
Wow! Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here with you today. I'm Julie Ragland, 2020 president of our local Association of Fundraising Professionals Southern Arizona Chapter. This has been an incredibly challenging year for all of us in ways that are both personal and collective. Some of us have lost our jobs. Some have had their workloads doubled, while every organization has had to respond to the pandemic in their own unique way. Many of us have also had to learn to be teacher, IT specialist, lunch worker, and personal chef for our children. Some of us have lost loved ones during this time, and we've all witnessed a historic racial and social justice movement and a divisive election. With all of this going on, it's been a comfort to have our AFP community to share this experience with, to lean on for emotional support, as well as a place to share ideas and strategies about how we can get through this challenging time together. I want to thank our entire 2020 AFP Board of Directors and Executive Leadership team, with special thanks to our immediate past president, Lisa Robinson, and our 2021 president-elect, Sarah Martin, for helping guide our chapter's boat through the rough waters of this year. I also want to thank Jerry Oldinsky, our chapter's longtime administrator, for always keeping the train on the tracks. I also want to thank our sponsors, whose support this year has meant so very much. And I want to congratulate all of the Spirit of Philanthropy awardees and our Big 7 award winners. It is truly a joy to be able to celebrate with all of you today. At last year's National Philanthropy Day event, back when we were able to gather together in person, I asked you to look around your tables and notice who was there and who was not, and to think about how we can be more inclusive as a sector, as a community, and as individuals. One of the primary and most important things that our chapter has focused on over the past 2 years has been our work to thoughtfully and strategically center IDEA, inclusion, diversity, equity, and access, and the voices of BIPOC, LGBTQIA, and other historically marginalized voices within our sector and beyond. Over the past 2 years, we've grown our IDEA committee from 2 people to more than 15 people actively engaging in our work. We've allocated a budget to support this work. We've added support groups for BIPOC, nonprofit employees, and we've allocated IDEA scholarships funded by our locally grown campaign. Our IDEA committee is currently working to educate our members about the process to be considered for appointment on public service committees and councils to increase diversity and inclusion on the policy level. And we are engaging in the community-centric fundraising movement, which is a movement focused on centering the needs of the community in philanthropic work. I'm incredibly proud and humbled by this work and the way our AFP Board of Directors, membership, and community has rallied around these values. There is so much to be done, and this is only the beginning, but it's a strong beginning with great momentum, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds. We've all had to shift our priorities and our plans over this past year, and the work of our nonprofits, our development professionals, and our philanthropic community has also shifted. Our work is more important than ever, not only to address the long-standing problems of our community, and not only to address the new challenges we're now facing, but also because our nonprofits and our philanthropic community will be leaders in building the new future and establishing our new normal. One where the needs of all people are considered and fulfilled, where all voices are valued and heard, and where together we are stronger in service to all. Thank you for joining with us and for all your support as we work towards these goals. Enjoy the rest of the National Philanthropy Day event.
Thank you, Julie. Today, we gather virtually to celebrate some of the people who have done outstanding work in our community this year. Donors and fundraisers, volunteers and corporate partners, people doing their part to make Tucson special. Throughout today's event, we will be celebrating many folks, including 7 major awardees. We like to call these the Big Six, but this year we have a 7th we're excited to present to you today. Each of these standouts were nominated by a lead organization or group and received multiple letters to support their nomination. And every single nomination that was received was reviewed by a group of judges consisting of a diverse group of judges whose names you can find in our digital program. Our 7 major awardees all received a 1-page spread in the November charity issue of Tucson Lifestyle magazine, which you can also view online, as well as recognition through social media, a beautiful handcrafted award, and many, many people celebrating them for their great work. Additionally, we will meet some special people who are demonstrating their spirit of philanthropy. These honorees were chosen by a nonprofit community organization to recognize publicly those who exemplify philanthropy through their contributions of time, effort, and/or resources. Formal praise of those who demonstrate extraordinary leadership and vision in support of your organization's goals not only confirms their efforts, but also inspires others in Southern Arizona to become more involved in our community. And now for our first of today's major awards, and it's a new one, exclusive for this year only. It is the Outstanding Crisis Response in Philanthropy Award. We know it has been a tough year for us all during this pandemic, but especially for the many people being served by the nonprofit sector here in Southern Arizona. The AFP board wanted to create a special recognition to honor an individual or group who has really stepped up during this time. And I think it's no surprise to see the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona accepting this special award. Please enjoy this short video about the recipient of the Outstanding Crisis Response in Philanthropy, the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, nominated by Alexander Carrillo Consulting.
I was really excited to be part of the nomination of the Community Foundation for the award because they have just really stepped up to the plate with the COVID relief programs that they were able to offer. From the very beginning, from day one, they just jumped in, and it was so impactful for my organization at Our Family Services, but also I know has made such a huge difference for my colleagues from throughout the region.
Genuine thanks for all that San Miguel has benefited from, but mainly our students. Every time I show up to the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, I see one of our San Miguel students working at the front desk. So they have supported our program in so many ways.
The Community Foundation awarded the American Red Cross a gift during this pandemic through their relief fund. Part of that donation has allowed us to test every single blood product that is donated to the American Red Cross for COVID-19 antibodies. And without funders like the Community Foundation, those programs simply aren't possible to the extent that we've been providing them.
CFSA plays multiple roles in philanthropy in this community. One is connecting donors to causes they care about. The other is leading and partnering with other foundations on issues of importance. The other is providing needed support to our nonprofit community so they can do what they do best.
I was so pleased to be able to nominate CFSA for the Crisis and Response to COVID-19 award. I can't think of any other organization in our community that could have been able to mobilize funders the way that they did, and to think that they have been able to infuse over $2 million back into our nonprofit organizations in the last 7-8 months is remarkable.
So when I found out Community Foundation of Southern Arizona was awarded, I was overjoyed, not only because they helped the children's clinics be able to provide a service to our kids and their families, but it also helps so many different organizations throughout the Tucson community.
I think it's no surprise to see the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona receiving this award. They stepped it up this year. It's no secret that this has been a really difficult year, and I think what I respect most about the Community Foundation is that they're so committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we know that, especially during this time, during this pandemic, that underrepresented groups have been disproportionately affected. And the Community Foundation just made sure that those people were taken care of.
I think they're a tremendous organization with their partners. The nonprofit world needs them.
When I think of our Community Foundation, I think of just a big hug. I feel like it's such an inclusive organization that really reaches out and embraces all of the nonprofits and really thinks about what we're trying to do in the community and how they can help support our missions.
I've been proud to be associated with a lot of projects over my tenure at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona. And a lot of our initiatives that have made such a great impact on the community, including the LGBT Alliance Fund and the work they're doing, our African American Legacy Fund, which has done a lot to promote philanthropy and give to the African American community, our Latino Heritage Fund, which has started giving to the Latino community, and a lot of the projects we've done to bring multi-sector partnerships to the community. I was humbled that we received this award for disaster response. It's part of our role community to be that resource when the community needs us most. And it's something that we do out of the nature of the mission of the Community Foundation. So to be recognized for that work, knowing how many other people are working hard, we were really humbled.
Thank you, Clint, for your partnership, for your leadership, for all the things that you've done for our community over these many years. And Alexander Carrillo Consulting wishes you the very best as you look forward to retirement.
Thank you, and congratulations to the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona. Next up, the 2020 Outstanding Corporate Philanthropist. Historically awarded to larger businesses, it's exciting to see a small business accept this year's award. We are pleased to announce this year's Outstanding Corporate Philanthropist nominated by the Drawing Studio, our dear friends Scott and Anna Grissel of Creatista Films, Video, and Photography. Please enjoy this short video.
SAFE was honored to write a letter of support for Creatista. Scott and Anna Grissel have been dear friends and supporters for many years. They've done our photography and videography, both for our programs, but also for our events. Take the most amazing shots. We wouldn't have anyone else there with us. And I think why I'm so excited to see them being honored is because I think a lot of times small businesses get looked over. It's hard to compete with the large corporations here in town, but when you look at the size of their small team and then look at the impact they've had just at SAFE alone, let alone other nonprofits here in town, it's quite remarkable.
So Laura Alexander with Alexander Carrillo reached out to me with the idea of nominating Creatista, Scott and Anna, to be the Corporate Philanthropist of the Year. And they had done so much, not only for our community, but for the drawing studio. When I started in 2017 at the drawing studio, I was their first development director, and the work that Scott and Anna did for our Inside the Artist Studio really put the drawing studio on the nonprofit map.
So it's been my privilege to work with Scott and Anna Grissel, the owners of Creatista, for almost 15 years. I've worked with them in 3 different work settings, 2 here in Tucson, and 1 actually back in Cleveland. And they do amazing work and have been so involved in so many charitable causes.
I nominated Creatista because Scott and Anna are 2 of the most generous people that I know. They give their entire heart and soul and spirit to every single project that they take on.
I was delighted to write a letter of support for the nomination of Creatista for the Outstanding Corporate Philanthropist Award. I've been working with Creatista for about 5 years, and they really have become PCOA's in-house photographer and in-house videographer. I think of them as an extension of my team.
Primavera Foundation has been working with Creatista for over 7 years. So we have this long and deep relationship with Creatista, and we really wanted to honor and celebrate them for the work that they've done, not just with Primavera Foundation, but the work in our community.
I'm delighted for Creatista that they won this award. So well deserved. I know they have served the nonprofit community all through Tucson for so many years, so for them to get this recognition is very well deserved. I'm very happy for them.
They are so ingrained and committed to our mission, and it's reflected. It's reflected in their work, and it's reflected in their day-to-day interactions with me and with everyone at SAFE and with everyone they meet. They are a true gem and just wonderful people to have here in Tucson, and I personally just feel so grateful to know them and to call them my friends.
I was also excited to hear about Creatista receiving this award because of everything that Scott and Anna are going through right now. I think they deserve to know that we all love them and that they have both made a significant, lasting difference in our community. I would just like to say how much I appreciate them and what they have done for this community and me as a person. And I also wanted to let you all know that we are going to name our new outdoor space at the drawing studio after Creatista in honor of Scott and Anna.
For those of you that don't know, Scott Grissel has been battling a brain lesion and undergoing many treatments and therapy. Scott and Anna were unable to film for their award video, but are so incredibly honored to accept this award. And we are so excited to celebrate them today. Our thoughts and prayers are with them during this difficult time. In lieu of an acceptance speech, please enjoy this tribute of just some of the great work that Creatista has done for nonprofit organizations and the community here in Southern Arizona. what incredible work they have done for our community. Thank you, and congratulations, Creatista. And now for our first group of Spirit of Philanthropy Awards. Follow along on the screen as we introduce this group of community warriors.
Gabriel Ayala, nominated by Amarant Museum.
Thank you, Gabriel Ayala, for sharing your art, your vision, and your artivism in ways that heal our community and our world.
Andres Bautista, nominated by Southern Arizona Gender Alliance. Betty and Pete Bankston, nominated by Tucson Audubon Society.
Pete and Betty, thank you so much for all you've done for Tucson Audubon. Our mission to inspire people to enjoy and protect birds is made stronger because of you. Thank you so much.
Kevin Burnett, nominated by YMCA of Southern Arizona.
Kevin, it truly is my privilege to say thank you. I look to you when I say the YMCA continues to impact our community because of the countless ways you continue to selflessly give and give and give. You truly embody the leadership Tucson depends on to thrive.
Ann Camarado, nominated by Bagot.
On behalf of all of those impacted by cancer, Bagot would like to thank Ann Camarado for being a kind and generous donor, volunteer, and partner. We love and appreciate you, Ann.
Sally and Dave Clement, nominated by the Nature Conservancy.
The Nature Conservancy thanks you for all of your time, your talents, and your caring that you've shared with us over the past 15 years.
Country Fair White Elephant, nominated by Children's Museum, Tucson.
Country Fair White Elephant, thank you so much for all your support of the Children's Museum Tucson and Oro Valley. Your staff and volunteers exemplify the spirit of philanthropy.
Daniel Crane, nominated by American Red Cross of Southern Arizona.
Congratulations, Daniel, for 3 years of donating.
David and Norma Lewis Foundation, held at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, nominated by Tucson Jewish Community Center.
Christy, on behalf of all of us here at the Tucson J, I want to express my gratitude. Thank you for all that you do to help us achieve our mission. Without you, we really could not do great things.
Sean Denlinger, nominated by Youth on Their Own.
Sean, you are a rock star. Thank you for being Yodo's biggest cheerleader and champion. Congratulations, we couldn't do this without you.
Madeline Friedman, nominated by Jewish Community Foundation of Southern Arizona.
Madeline, on behalf of the Jewish Community Foundation, I congratulate you on this well-deserved award. Your leadership in Legacy and elsewhere have been crucial to our success. Thank you.
Congratulations to our first group of Spirit of Philanthropy honorees. Moving right along, our next major award is for the young people out there, making a difference in our world. The Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award. This year's recipient has set herself apart with an incredible amount of volunteer hours, which include 4 years of board service for a nonprofit organization. Please join me in congratulating Julia Wieland, nominated by the Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation, this year's Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy honoree.
Since I've known Julia for 3 years, I've just been so impressed with her professionalism, her commitment. I don't think she's ever missed a board meeting. She cares about giving back to the community. She cares about the people that we serve, and I think she takes great pride in representing our youth.
You know, I think Julie has shown her maturity by really stepping up in ways that I would be surprised that any other student member of the board would. You know, she's listed as student member of the board, but she's actually our second vice president as well.
When I found out Julia had been honored with this year's award, I was over the moon. I think so often we're grateful that people do what they do without needing or wanting recognition, but it feels so good to give it to them. I hope that Julia can serve as an example to the great work and ideas and perspective that young people can provide.
So I think Julia has a history of volunteering. Starting in junior high. So she's always been kind of the kind and caring person in our family. and she's been kind of recognized in school for doing that.
So when I was 13, I started volunteering at the Oro Valley Library, where I joined the Teen Advisory Board. And so I was the president of the Teen Advisory Board, and we designed a whole new space for teens where we had 3D printers and robots for teens to play with. I started volunteering at SAFE during my junior year of high school, where I felt I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I've had at SAFE. It's a very unique opportunity, something that many high schoolers or college students wouldn't have, to be on the board of such an incredible organization.
Our reaction when we found out that Julia was selected was surprise and also feeling proud of her accomplishments.
Yes.
I was very proud of her and very excited for her. I think that she deserves this award. If you look at all that she's done and currently is doing as a student at the University of Arizona, involved in the clubs and government issues there, and also her consistent dedication to Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation and being the voice of youth.
That's been amazing to see her growth and development, and to have her, really her voice as a member of our board of directors.
So I was really honored when SAFE nominated me for the award, and when I first heard about it, I didn't expect to get the award at all. It was a really big deal, and when I read the email, I got really excited, and I showed all my friends and my family, and it was a really big honor to be nominated, because when people come to volunteer, they don't volunteer for being recognized. They volunteer because they want to do something good for the community and because they have the time to give back.
First, I would like to thank the National Philanthropy Day Committee and the Associates of Fundraising Professionals for the honor of being named this year's Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy awardee. Working at SAFE has been one of the best experiences that I've had in the past 4 years, and I'm very proud to say that I am a volunteer at SAFE. I will continue to strive to give back to Southern Arizona what it gave to me in the future. Thank you.
Wow! It seems the future is bright for Southern Arizona. Congratulations, Julia. Our fourth of the major awards is the Outstanding Foundation Philanthropist, designed to recognize a foundation making a profound impact here in Southern Arizona through their philanthropy. You've seen this foundation's name all over town, touching countless organizations. Please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of the Outstanding Foundation Philanthropist, nominated by Live Theater Workshop, the Connie J. Hillman Family Foundation. Let's learn a little bit more about them.
When we found out the Connie Hillman Family Foundation was selected to receive this award, we were very excited for them. They're so deserving. They have impacted this community in numerous ways. They support a number of different areas, whether it be education or youth development or health or just empowerment of people and helping people in imaginative ways.
I've been working with Larry Adamson and the Hillman Foundation for a number of years. In fact, back when I worked for Our Family Services and the foundation first started making grants, Larry came to visit me to talk about the work that we were doing with homeless women and their children. And that was one of the first grants Hillman ever made. So I've had a wonderful relationship with the Hillman Foundation. At PCOA, the Hillman Foundation made an early and very significant investment in our capital campaign to open a healthy aging center in Central Tucson, and that challenge grant really made a huge difference.
The Girl Scouts of Southern Arizona enthusiastically submitted a letter of support of the Connie Hillman Family Foundation for this award, because over the last 5+ years that we've been working with them, we've been blessed to truly see that they exhibit the spirit of philanthropy and are really committed to sustainable impact.
When I first found out that Connie Hillman Foundation was one of the selectees, the first thing that came to my mind was just the consistent support from the foundation over the years and what it's meant to us on a year-to-year basis. It's made a huge impact, not only on the students, but also the adults, the faculty and staff on campus.
It was very clear to us that early on, they believe that philanthropy is far more than just dollars given. They were wonderful in supporting and knowing that the building itself is so much more than a space for girls, but rather a place for them to come that is safe and welcoming.
What I think I admire most is their work in the background. You don't always see them at the forefront as a generous donor, but you know they're silently working to support lots of different missions. We're fortunate to be a recipient, and I know hundreds of others are as well.
Another reason that I was excited to see the Connie Hillman Family Foundation get honored is because of Larry Adamson. He is an amazing steward of that foundation's dollars, and he puts a lot of effort into learning about the organizations that he's going to fund.
I would just like to say thank you to our friends at the Connie Hillman Foundation. We appreciate not only their investment in public education, but they inspire others to give and to give bigger.
We love the Connie Hillman Foundation. We're thrilled to see they're getting this award, and we're so pleased that it's happening in this year when they've made such a difference for so many organizations.
I just think it's really special to leave that kind of legacy to a community. For Live Theater Workshop, the gift that the Connie Hillman Foundation gave to us is going to be expanding our ability to serve our community for years and years to come. And I see that happening in so many other organizations that they support.
Well, I've always thought from a very young age that people who are able should support their community, whether it's by time or money. I'd like the Hillman Foundation to continue to help local charities as they uplift those in our community, inspire others to help these various charities.
At this time, we are excited to introduce our second group of Spirit of Philanthropy honorees. Please sit back and enjoy this short video of local heroes.
Cindy Goldwyn, nominated by the David and Laura Lovell Foundation. Janet Grace, nominated by Women's Foundation of Southern Arizona. Margaret Hepburn, nominated by American Red Cross.
Hey Margaret, thank you so much for being an incredible board member and philanthropist in the community. I know I speak on behalf of a number of organizations that greatly benefit from your philanthropy and dedication to the Southern Arizona community, so thank you.
Dan and Kit Kimball, nominated by Sonoran Institute.
Thank you, Dan and Kit Kimball, for being a part of Sonoran Institute and for all that you do to make Tucson a great place to live.
Kit Kimball, nominated by Tucson Museum of Art. Lee Klein, nominated by Arizona Oncology Foundation.
Lee Klein, Board President Extraordinaire and Spirit of Philanthropy winner. Congratulations, Lee. You truly deserve this honor. We love you. We love your passion and your commitment to Arizona Oncology Foundation, and we couldn't do half of what we do without you. So thank you. Congratulations.
Andy Kunzberg, nominated by Jewish Federation of Southern Arizona.
Andy, you are the spirit of the Jewish Federation of Southern Arizona. Your enthusiasm inspires us all. Thank you.
Chris Lawler, nominated by El Rio Health Center Foundation.
Chris, El Rio's so excited to have you be our Spirit honoree this year. Congratulations, and you too, Caitlin.
Carla Boucher Leisure, nominated by YMCA of Southern Arizona, Lighthouse YMCA.
Carla, thank you for everything you've done for the Lighthouse City YMCA. Whether it's throwing carnivals in the lobby, getting out after classes, engaging with our members and sharing our stories, or whether it's just being a friendly face in our community. Thank you for everything. I'm so grateful.
Tracy Knuckles, nominated by Children's Clinics.
Hey Tracy, it's an absolute honor to nominate you for the Spirit of Philanthropy Award for all your generosity and compassion that you've shown the Children's Clinics. We know you don't like to be in the limelight, but it's our way of showing you some gratitude.
Pat Raskub and Tom Paulus, nominated by Pima Council on Aging.
Pat and Tom, thanks so much for your years of support for PCOA, and especially for making the Caregiver Skills Lab and Classroom a reality at the Katie Dusenberry Healthy Aging Center. You are so special and greatly appreciated.
Congratulations to our second group of Spirit of Philanthropy honorees. Now, for our next major award, the Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser. This award recognizes an individual or group that volunteers their time to raise awareness and funds for nonprofit organizations. This year, we are thrilled to celebrate the recipient of the Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser, nominated by the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona, Janos Wilder. Let's learn a little bit more about Janos.
I've had the pleasure of working with Janos for many decades on many different fundraising or nonprofit events, both in my capacity as a professional fundraiser working for nonprofits, as a fellow volunteer, and also as a former employee of Janos so many moons ago. And he really does so much for so many. He rarely says no, if ever, and he just goes above and beyond. He brings that same level of perfection and commitment to everything he does, even when it's to bolster our nonprofit sector. And so I am so grateful that he's getting this award this year. It is very well deserved.
My role in philanthropy in the community is really a natural role for me to take. It's a role of being aware of need that's around you and setting out to sort of help out those in need and do it in ways, for me, that often fit in with the sort of work that I do. So it's a way to give back to the community, but also to be aware of what the needs are in the community. It's something that comes supernatural to me because it's something that was inbred from me from a very young age.
During the pandemic, Janos and his team provided meals for our frontline workers, and he arrived himself with 1,500 meals of quality food that our staff could fill their bellies with and feel good about taking care of patients day in and day out.
Janos has been here for so long. He is a part of our community. He represents the very best of Southern Arizona, which is a giving heart, which is someone who understands that multiculturalism, that the diverse flavors and cultures of the Southwest matter now more than ever.
When I learned, and when Primavera Foundation learned that Janos had won this award, it was like, it's about time. It was yes, absolutely. Because Janos is so gifted, and he never seeks attention. He really doesn't do it to celebrate himself. He does it to celebrate our community.
Well, I think that what people don't know about Janos is just how incredible he is. I mean, he's one of the only James Beard chefs that we've had in Tucson. He, along with a few others, helped make us a city of gastronomy. He really carved out what Southwest cuisine is. And he never did it for the accolades. He did it for the love of the food.
When I first heard about this award and that I was chosen to receive it, I was shocked, super pleased, super proud. I didn't even know they gave awards out like that for this sort of thing, so it's really a wonderful surprise, but quite an honor. I really need to thank the Community Food Bank, not only for the incredible work that they do, because that's who we really should be recognizing, but for realizing and taking the time to honor me in this way. I'm so appreciative of this. It means an awful lot. And there are so many organizations in this community who do phenomenal work. There is no limit to the need in this community. And so it's with much appreciation that I accept this honor. And really, there are so many others who are more deserving of this honor. To me, it's part of my everyday work to work within the community for things that are important.
Congratulations, Janos, and thank you for the impact you make here in Southern Arizona. Moving on to our sixth of the major awards, the Outstanding Fundraising Executive Award. This year's recipient is a well-known and beloved member of the Southern Arizona AFP chapter, and she has given so much of her time, talent, and treasure in the Tucson community. She's a wonderful example of how to fundraise ethically and compassionately. Nominated by Alexander Carrillo Consulting, please watch this short video about Lana Baldwin, CFRE, this year's Outstanding Fundraising Executive Honoree.
Up and down the chain, everybody likes Lana and trusts Lana. If she says she's going to do something, she does it. You just have to look at a run of the PCOA spreadsheets to know how successful she's been, how much she has accomplished. The numbers speak for themselves, but that's only half the story.
Well, you know, I didn't set out to be a fundraiser. And I think a lot of us who've been in the field for a number of years can say the same thing. I think a lot more people are getting intentionally into the field of nonprofit fundraising these days, but some 20 years ago, that was not so much the case. I was just looking for a part-time job while my daughter was going to preschool half-time. And I found a position doing a little grant writing and a little bit of donor acknowledgement, and it launched a career. And over the years, I certainly thought about whether this was what I wanted to do with my whole life, and if there was something that might be more interesting or more money. But in the end, good is addictive. Doing good is addictive.
I've been fortunate enough to know Lana Baldwin for over a decade now. Worked with her in many different capacities, most recently on the committee for this very event, National Philanthropy Day in 2018. Lana served as our marketing and media chair and did an incredible job, as she does with just about everything that she puts her hands on. And I think the greatest thing about Lana, besides the great work that she does, is that she does it with so much calmness, doesn't lose it in the middle of an event, which is always a great thing, and just shows a lot of grace.
I was so pleased and honored to be asked to support Lana Baldwin's nomination as Outstanding Fundraising Executive, because it's been my privilege to work with her for now 5 years as our Vice President of Philanthropy and Communications at Pima Council on Aging. She is amazing.
I was so excited that Lana was going to be receiving this recognition. I can't think of anybody who deserves it more this year in particular. She is coming off of a big success with a capital campaign at PCOA, and I think that needs to be noted and celebrated.
When I was told that Lana was the 2020 Fundraising Executive of the Year, I was over the moon excited for her. I could think of no one more deserving than Lana Baldwin. She has been a rock star for Pima Council on Aging and has been such a strong fellow National Philanthropy Day committee member, and I just couldn't have been happier.
Fundraising is a team sport. And it is only because of this community's amazing network of nonprofit professionals and donors and funders and organizations working together to better our community that we are able to accomplish the amazing work that we do. I want to say thank you and congratulations to all of today's winners and honorees. Thank you for being part of this community's fundraising team. And I want to say thank you to my home team, to my beautiful wife Kimberly, my forever date for every gala, and my daughter Zamora, who grew up stuffing appeal envelopes, and to all of my colleagues past and present who have supported me and my growth and my journey in this fundraising field.
This is a huge honor for our fundraising professionals. Congratulations on a well-deserved honor, Lana. And now for our final group of Spirit of Philanthropy honorees. Let's watch this short video as we celebrate these folks doing great work in our community.
Harold and Ann Paxton, nominated by Arizona Public Media.
Harry Paxton exemplifies the meaning of the word philanthropy through his service on AZPM's Community Advisory Board and as an outstanding major donor, giving generously of his time and talent.
Realty Executives Arizona Territory, nominated by Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern Arizona.
Agents with Realty Executives Arizona Territory support the Ronald McDonald House, providing a home away from home for families with sick children.
C. Charro Flores Concepts, nominated by Tucson Interfaith HIV/AIDS Network, TIHAN.
I just had a delicious meal here. A huge thank you to the Flores family and the C. Charro family of restaurants for all you do for our community. Muchísimas gracias.
Southwestern Foundation for Education and Historic Preservation, nominated by Amarant Museum.
Thank you to the Southwestern Foundation for Education and Historic Preservation for your unfailing support of heritage preservation in Southern Arizona and your friendship to the Amarant.
The Stonewall Foundation, nominated by Tucson Girls Chorus and nominated by Tucson Interfaith HIV/AIDS Network, TIHAN.
The Tucson Girls Chorus is so thankful for the Stonewall Foundation. They are leading the way with a bold and generous example of foresight and commitment. Thank you, Stonewall Foundation, for enriching the lives of so many in our community.
On behalf of the Tucson Interfaith HIV/AIDS Network, I want to thank the Stonewall Foundation for all you do to support people living with HIV. You do so much for us and so much in the community, and we are so grateful.
Harlan Templin, nominated by American Red Cross.
Thank you, Harlan, for donating. You're the best.
The Fierce Pride, nominated by Southern Arizona Gender Alliance. Jamie and Joyce Torres, nominated by the Primavera Foundation. Wendell Townsend, nominated by YMCA of Southern Arizona, Ott Family YMCA.
Wendell, thank you so much for your time and dedication to the Ott YMCA and its mission. Whether that's helping a child out on the basketball court work on a new drill, or asking others to support us with their dollars. Thank you so much for all you do.
Judith and John Ulrich, nominated by Tucson Audubon Society.
Judy and John, thank you so much for your support of Tucson Audubon. Our mission to inspire people to enjoy and protect birds is made stronger because of you. Thank you so much.
Patty Valance, nominated by Greater Tucson Fire Foundation.
Patty, your love for firefighters and their families is the core of our mission to take care of those who take care of us. Thank you for pouring your heart and soul into the Greater Tucson Fire Foundation.
What wonderful people doing wonderful work. Congratulations to all this year's Spirit of Philanthropy awardees. And now for our final award, and it's a big one, the Outstanding Philanthropist of the Year. This award recognizes an individual who has made a profound impact in our community by giving of their time, talent, and treasure. We are thrilled to recognize this true community warrior. Nominated by Children's Clinics, please join me in celebrating this year's recipient of the Outstanding Philanthropist honoree, Adeline Clemenson.
Social Venture Partners was excited to support Adeline's nomination because she does so much for our organization. She has served in so many roles, including as our board chair, chaired many committees, and she's just one of those people that we know we can go to when we need to get something done.
I wrote a letter of support for Adeline Clemenson's nomination as Outstanding Philanthropist because she is just amazing. She's currently our board chair at PCOA, and she's been on one or the other of our boards. When I came here 6 years ago, she was on our foundation board. She's an incredible leader in the community. She is very generous with her time and very generous with her money, but most especially, I think she's generous with her knowledge and expertise.
When we learned that Adeline was selected for this award, we're just so excited for her. You know, she does so much for the YMCA, and really she is a philanthropist, she is a volunteer, she is someone who does so much for so many, and it's just excited and proud that she's part of our organization, and we're one of the many that she gives her time, talent, and treasure to.
Adeline has been a longtime supporter of children's clinics, and I knew that she supported several of our partners. She's been involved with us through Social Venture Partners, through Angel Charity for Children. I know she has partnerships with Banner University Medical Center Tucson and Tucson Medical Center, and I could think of no one more deserving than Adeline for this honor.
My role is I serve on a lot of boards, and I believe in the causes that I work for. And so when I'm on a board and I'm asked to give, and I'm asked to ask other board members to give, I feel like I have to give because it's the right thing to do for the organization. And I can't ask others to give if I haven't given myself.
When I heard that Adeline was being honored as this year's Philanthropist of the Year, I was overjoyed. I can't think of anyone that I've worked with in a philanthropic way that is more deserving of this award.
Adeline represents all that is best in terms of philanthropists in Tucson. She is mission-oriented, results-oriented, and really feels and teaches to go beyond yourself.
Well, I was excited, I was surprised, I was honored, I was thrilled. I've been doing this work for a long time, and I don't do it for recognition, and so I was extremely surprised and very humbled, and I appreciate the award very much.
To be honest, when I found out Adeline won, I wasn't that shocked. I had the opportunity to read some of the letters that some of the other organizations sent in, the YMCA, Social Venture Partners, TMC Foundation, Pima Council on Aging. As I read their letters, I realized that she has done as deep and meaningful work for so many other organizations as she has for the children's clinics that it wasn't a shock. It was just, we were so excited for her to be able to actually, you know, be recognized for the years of service that she's given the Tucson community.
First, let me say that I am extremely honored and humbled to receive this award. I don't do what I do for recognition. I do it because I want to make a difference in our community. There is a quote by Winston Churchill that I really like, and it is, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Tucson has been good to my husband and I want to give back to make it a better, healthier, and safer place for all.
Thank you, Adeline, for all that you have done and continue to do for Southern Arizona. This concludes all of our awards for the afternoon. What a fabulous group of people. What a great day and a great way to end our week. Southern Arizona is the special place it is because of all of today's honorees and because of every one of our unsung heroes, each one of you. Can we give one giant round of applause for all of our honorees today and for all those doing good through philanthropy here in Southern Arizona? As we part ways, I want to thank you for supporting the Southern Arizona chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. National Philanthropy Day supports education and scholarships for fundraising professionals to join AFP, attend conferences, and to take the exam to be a certified fundraising executive. Support for Professional Fundraiser means support for the amazing missions of all our nonprofit organizations. We wish you a wonderful weekend. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for doing good.